All right, so let's talk about metric to English conversions. When you're converting metric to English units or vice versa, the unit equation that you use may not be exact. More than likely it isn't, okay? So if you take a look at table 2.3 in your chapter handout, which is right here, okay, I want you to highlight or circle this exact unit equation, which is 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters, because it says exact underneath it in, you can't see that, because it says exact in it right there, okay? That's the only exact unit equation in that entire table. Okay, so that means if you use it, it has infinite sig figs and it doesn't affect the sig figs in your final answer. Another note you're going to want to make is if you're using any unit equation, there's a number 1 in it. Like here, 1 foot, 1 meter, 1 kilometer. The number 1 is always exact. You want to write that down and remember it. The number 1 is always exact, has infinite sig figs, and never affects your final answer. But if you're using this 1 kilometer, the first unit equation in this table is 1 km equals 0.6214 miles, okay? If you're using this unit equation, which is a metric to English unit conversion, then you've got to note this has infinite sig figs, okay? And this does not. This only has 4 sig figs. So these are the kind of things that you have to be aware of, okay? You have to watch your units because kilometer is metric, miles is English, okay? Now, if we're looking at student exercise number 11, I think you're going to find that these conversions are much easier than the 1-step and the 2-step metric conversions that we were doing. So student exercise 11 tells you that you have 64.0 fluid ounces of milk. So how many quarts are in that many fluid ounces? You're going to set it up like this. Fluid ounces is going to go on the diagonal. Quarts is going to go up on top. In parentheses, after the problem, I gave you the unit equation. You're going to put the number 1 where quarts is, and you're going to put 32 where fluid ounces is. Now, 64.0 is 3 sig figs. So you're going to want to make a note here. This is 3 significant figures. You learned that in the last chapter. If you don't remember how to determine significant figures, go back and review that video, okay? Number 1 has infinite sig figs. 32 has 2 sig figs, okay? So here what you're going to do is divide 64 divided by 32 is 2. The answer is going to be 2.0 quarts because that's 2 significant figures. Okay? Okay, now if we go on and we take a look at student exercise number 12 and we convert 17.65 inches to centimeters. We're going to set it up so it looks something like this. We're using 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters, which is exact. And the number 1 has infinite sig figs, and so does the 2.54. So that means this won't affect the sig figs in our final answer. So that means if I'm starting with 4 sig figs, and this unit equation has infinite sig figs, I need to have 4 sig figs in my final answer, okay? 17.65 times 2.54 is 44.8 centimeters. But I'm sorry, 44.83 centimeters, because you need 4 sig figs. Okay? Okay. Now, you've got a metric to English conversion worksheet, which looks like this, to do. Okay? I gave you the unit equations in parentheses after the problem. You've got to watch significant figures here. Okay? This is a chapter where we're heavy on sig figs. So make sure you show your work, do it the exact same way that I did it in the video, and track your sig figs as you go.